Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome again to another episode of the C-Suite Podcast, where we talk about all things sports. On today's show, we're gonna be talking about basketball, more specifically NBA basketball. We have a number of guests on the show, so they're gonna kind of help break down what we're gonna be talking about in more details. So we got Taye, we got Obi, Jay, Anthony, shout out to Ale, Hola, Steven. So into this episode, we're gonna dive into a number of topics currently going on in the NBA. So we're gonna look into the Brooklyn Nets, James Harden, what's going on with the situation with the trade request, player power, and we're gonna look into Paul George. So what's really going on with Pandemic B? Enjoy the show.
Like Paul George, man, it's just so unreliable, yo.
Paul George, man. I call Paul George. I mean, actually, yeah, Paul George is actually playing in this game. So I'm a bit,
exactly.
but that's Paul George for you. He only has, he plays well in one game. He doesn't play well in the other game. So it's not really consistent. But yeah, but this was really bad, though. This was a real.
But hold up, like, this is the guy, Kyrie. That's how you say his name, Kyrie? Kyrie. This is that guy Kyrie requested, yeah?
No, it's not Kyrie.
No.
Kawhi Leonard, sorry.
Kawhi, yeah, sorry. This is the guy Kawhi Leonard requested, correct? Paul George.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And was he a player that you saw and you felt, okay, yeah, like this makes sense. Like we understand what Kawhi is doing this because he feels like him and Paul will have great synergy and this could lead to a title. Like when that pick was made, did you guys think, hell yeah, this team is challenging now?
No, like I mean, when it happens, I felt like Paul just was like it was decent. Like, was he really a superstar? I wouldn't say he was a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like obviously like maybe at the time maybe top maybe 15 player in the league. So it was a good move for them to make. But it's just, but if you actually look at his player record, like he has a reputation for just go missing when he actually matters the most. Okay, fine. Like it's all well and good, on the regular season game having like 35 points or like eight assists, whatever, like 8-9 rebounds. But then when it comes to playoff, like what are you actually doing? And that's what that's why we're getting paid playoff. You know what I'm saying? Like so, like can you actually lead us to championship? Like Paul George can't do that, So like so I personally never got the hype for Paul George. Personally, I feel like it was maybe a bit overhyped, but you know what I'm saying? So what did you think of it? Are you a big fan of Paul George yourself, or are you just like?
Paul George is, I think he's a pretty good player, Like I think when he was playing for the Indiana Pacers, and then he had that game with LeBron when LeBron was in Miami Heat. I think he was really a very good player then, and he was really making waves in the NBA. Then all of a sudden, I think it was a couple of 2 or 3 seasons later, he had that horrific injury where he broke his leg, and then he obviously had to rehabilitate and come back to the league. So I don't know. Since that injury, I don't know whether he hasn't been himself, like but I think he's a very good player, but he just in and out sometimes. He's not really too consistent, and and you need that in the NBA. You can't really play well in the normal season, and then when the playoff comes, like you're missing in action.
What do you see happening in the East now?
Man, I see Brooklyn Nets happening in the East, man. That's all I'm seeing. The K brothers, man. The K brothers. That's game over right there. They are just running that league right now. They've played 2 games and they have demolished 2 teams that they played. So they're putting that statement there. But the only thing I'm thinking now, I'm a bit hesitant, is the injury. Like Kyrie, he's prone to injuries.
Definitely.
And what's his name? KD. Because of his Achilles, I'm also thinking, I don't know, like I'm just having that thing that I'm not really sure whether he could keep this up.
Keep going. Season. Yeah, I understand.
But if they're not injured and they stay healthy, I definitely see them coming out from the East.
James Harden.
James. Oh, you mean the guy from Houston Rockets?
Yeah, to the Nets. Yeah, because obviously.
I don't think. See. I think James. Like, I don't think he might be a good fit to the. You mean to
Nets.
Brooklyn Nets or?
Yeah, Nets. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think, because he's the kind of guy that slows the game down. You know, he stops the game because he does all this isolation plays.
I hate that so much, man. Trust me.
Yeah.
That actually annoys me so much.
Yeah, and he might want to have the ball most times, and it's just going to create a lot of friction between KD and Kyrie, because Kyrie also demands the ball, and KD too. He probably doesn't demand the ball as much, but you know, if somebody's playing isolation basketball, then it's going to make the other players very dormant and not really, you know what I mean, out of the game.
So, like, what team would you actually trade him to? So, because obviously,
I think it might be a good fit either in the Philadelphia Sixers.
Okay, but then, like, if you do that, would you give up Ben Simmons?
That's the thing, though. Ben Simmons is a good player.
Ben Simmons is a great player, man. At that age, he's amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's a bit risky, but it depends, though. Do you want somebody that could pass and do what Ben Simmons does, but also has the added ability to take those threes?
Well, yeah, but so to me, okay, obviously, like, I like Ben Simmons personally, but I like just think, like, over the 3-4 years, like, you still can't shoot. So, like, when do you keep? Okay, yeah, fine. You can pass. You can go in the lane. You can, but then NBA's nowadays, if you can't shoot, you can't really last in the league anymore. So, like, where does it become a point where, like, people just tired of, like, this guy does not, like, what, you're a professional basketball player. You paid millions to actually be able to, like, go to the gym, practice shots, jump shots, whatever, 3-pointers, whatever. This guy's not taking shots at all. So, like, my teams are like, when can you actually, like, how long can you stand up for? How long can teams like, okay, not fine. This guy can shoot. Obviously, he's a good player. He's a good passer, but, like, there comes a point where you just have to be like, like, you have to learn how to shoot. So, like, what do you think of that? Would you actually, given that also, would you actually trade Harden for Simmons, or, like, what would you do if you were the GM?
I would be trading Simmons to take those threes. He needs to be comfortable in doing that, because you can't just have an opportunity to take a 3 and then choose another option of taking a 2, because you're losing points by doing that, for the team. So ideally, if I was the GM, I would definitely be looking to make sure he improves in taking that 3. But then again, though, I think the Sixers have enough capital in their team, like, not to even, they don't really have to trade Ben Simmons. Probably they might have, like, enough salary cap to still get Harden. But, like, Dwight Howard, they got the Curry, they got what's that guy that plays for Spurs again? Jay.
Danny Green,
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was literally about it. I don't think they really got, like, a really top
plays. Yeah.
So I think they still have the cap, like, to get Harden, and then probably they might just give 1 or 2 players, but they don't have to give up Ben Simmons. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
I can see them trading, like, maybe Tobias Harris, and then maybe, like, I don't know, like Terrence Ferguson, maybe. So that might kind of, so those 2 players might kind of level up the cap a bit. But I think that's about it, to be honest. Like, and like in terms of the Milwaukee Bucks, though, do you see Giannis actually doing well in the playoffs this year? Because obviously 2 times MVP, he doesn't really play well in the playoffs. Like, so what's his issue?
I don't still see the Bucks winning it, though. I know they got a good signing with Jay Holiday, but Drew Holiday, but but I don't think. I think Giannis needs another big in there, like another superstar. Big in there. Yeah.
Like, what about Chris Middleton? Do you rate him as a player at all?
Because the one that takes the shoots the three,
yeah.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player, but I don't know whether you watch the Bucks mostly, but when they play, like, Giannis, like, is like, he's the ball handler, he's taking the threes, he's dunking in the, like, you know,
He's
like
doing everything
rim.
mostly.
He's kind of doing everything, yeah. And I
Yeah.
just think they don't have, once he's out of the game, that's it, you know. So they needed another star. I'm surprised they didn't get one.
So
But
who would you?
but that's good though. That he's extended his contract, you know. So I'm
Yeah,
sure
exactly.
they
So like,
could.
who would you have gone for in terms of like to actually add that depth to the team, like? Because obviously,
I
like,
think there was a big. I forgot his name though. There was a guy that went to the Atlanta Hawks. A big guy.
Atlanta
Huh?
Hawks.
Yeah, what's that guy that went to Atlanta Hawks?
Recently.
No, not Rondo. There was a big guy that went to Atlanta Hawks that this guy wanted.
Oh, let me think of it actually. Atlanta Hawks, you know, big guy. Is it? Oh yeah, Boban.
No, he went to Sixers. Huh?
Is it Bogdan?
It could be, yeah. It's like an East European kind of guy.
Yeah. It's same, yes.
Yeah. What's his name? Yeah, Giannis wanted him in the team because he has that Giannis kind of like play, like, you know, like he's hungry, he's like he fights for the ball,
definitely.
and it's like, and he's he's very sensible and all that, like smart.
Yeah, he's a good player actually, yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't get him. So I think Giannis wasn't happy about that. But that's what Giannis needs. Somebody like that.
That can kind of like make shots, that can actually create the dribble as well, right? Yeah, that kind of play. That kind of play.
Maybe Harden might be a good fit for the Bucks though. You never know.
That's a good shot, you know, but like I'm not sure if they would have enough though. Like in terms of like they would need so many draft picks, they would need like so many future draft picks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. They're already signed Giannis, and
they're like the only asset they could potentially trade to actually get Harden, I don't know, would have to be like maybe like Chris Middleton with Brook Lopez and probably Bobby Portis, but that's not enough. Yeah, that's not enough. Like maybe next year's draft pick, one of the number one picks next year, or that just won't be enough for Harden, to be honest. You know?
Yeah.
I just I got a question for you guys. Yeah, player power. So we know this is in the Premier League, yeah, and in basketball it seems like, you know, because we were having this conversation about James Harden and pretty much how if he wants to leave, he's gonna leave. And it seems like he might just get his way. So how do you perceive player power in the NBA? Good or bad?
I think it's bad though.
That's a tough one, you know. That's a tough one for me because I feel like, you know, like, okay, so like to me the way I see it is like if a player isn't performing, teams will just trade you straight away. Like they don't care if your family is based in, like, you know, obviously, like when these players get traded, they have to uproot their own families. You know what I'm saying? So, like, to me, as a player person, I'm like, you know, the teams can do whatever they want with you. They can trade you if you're not performing. So I feel like players should be able to have the flexibility to actually, you know, demand where they want to go to. You know what I'm saying?
Hello?
Yo.
Yeah. Sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, so to me, it's like I actually get where you're coming from, but I just feel like, you know, teams can trade you like whenever they want. They don't care about, you know, players. They can just, once you're not performing, teams trade you. So I feel like players should have the flexibility to actually choose like what team they want to play for.
Yeah, no, I don't think it works like that, because if players say do that, then it's not going to be fair on other teams. You know, that's why the NBA is very good, because once you're a top rookie, normally you're being sent like to the worst performing team, you know, so it just kind of like makes, I just think it's not right for players to have too much power in the NBA, because it wouldn't be fair if they're able to, you know, like just determine their next move or what team they want to play with, because it's just going to create like a buddy kind of like league where people are just going to the teams where their guys or their friends are, and it's just not going to be right for the NBA. And then I think, and again, you know, if the players have power, they could speak to their agents, and, you know, and then their agents could speak to other agents or wherever. And I don't know, like I just think it could mess up the league basically. So I think think the power should really be at the GM, which is at the front front office, and they make the moves. You know, I can see LeBron, like, you see, look at how LeBron is. Like, I think LeBron has a lot of player power, and he's able to. And that's how Anthony Davis came in, because he was like, you know, Bron, I want to play with him, and you know, Bron's agent is Rich Paul, I think, or so.
Yeah, Rich Paul.
And he is the same agent to Anthony Davis, and Rich Paul and LeBron are friends, so LeBron can actually be speaking to other players and telling them, hey, you need to get with this agent because he's doing well. And if they're with Rich Paul, which is LeBron's agent, then LeBron can impact those players' decisions because he's friends with Rich Paul, and Rich Paul and LeBron talk a lot. So it's just like I just think it would create a lot of unfairness, you know, if the power is in the players. I think the GM and the front office should be where the power should be.
Okay, so you basically like it ruins the league, like it ruins the NBA, if like all the stars go on one team, basically, because obviously like they want to play, obviously like Anthony Davis wants to play with LeBron, or you know what I'm saying. So you would think like this would kind of ruin the NBA, just the way the players, if players are given that much freedom.
So I have a friend of mine, he's here in London with me. He wants to raise a point because he doesn't agree with anything I just said there.
Yeah, perfect.
I don't agree. Because everyone's so used to GMs and owners having powers, treating the NBA players like they're a bunch of slaves. Now that the NBA players got the power in their hands, people are all up in arms. Bottom line is, sport is a player-dominated situation in this sort of, within the last sort of 5 to 10 years. So why should the players not dictate where they go and how they express their talents?
Yeah, James, exactly. And that's what I'm saying as well, because I just feel like, you know, like teams can trade you easily. They can, you can literally wake up the next morning and then you trade to like the next city. So I feel I feel like, you know, at the end of the day though, the players should be able to decide like exactly where they want to play, who they want to play with. So like we're not in the like, you know, we're not really in the like 80s and 90s no more, where, you know what I'm saying, of certain GM decide like where you're going. I feel like right now, 2020, players should actually be able to decide, listen, I don't want to play for this team anymore. You know, because you don't decide where you get drafted to. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
After you spend like 7 years with the same team, when your contract ends, I feel like you should be decide exactly where you want to go. Obviously, like Obi was saying, maybe that ruins the league a bit, but at the end of the day, though, like GMs can trade you whenever they want, wherever they want. So it's like, I feel like at the end of the day, the players should be able to decide exactly where they want to play, who they want to play with.
Exactly, because even if they decide they want to go to a new team, the team can still trade them.
Exactly.
It's not like they've got total control.
Yeah.
And it's also not new. People are acting like, oh, LeBron's doing something new. He's not doing anything new. The Lakers GM was an agent. He was Kobe's agent.
Yeah, Rob Pelinka.
Kobe used him to recruit loads of people for Lakers.
Perfect, exactly.
But the problem is there's a lot of jealousy out there for LeBron. So when LeBron does something and then others follow, he gets the blame. You know?
Definitely.
The NFL players, they're just starting to do the same thing. You saw Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Antonio Brown.
Yes.
They sort of fought their ways out of their contracts and moved. I don't see a problem with LeBron being smart enough
to decide where he wants to play.
Perfect, wherever he goes, he guarantees a championship within 2 years. So why should he not? Why should the GM decide when he's clearly the most important factor?
Yeah.
I don't understand what the issue is with that. The GM has to tell him where he has to play. So he's just going to shut up and dribble in every place he wants to play. as that Laura Ingram woman said.
If you give players more power, let me just use an example. Let's say LeBron gets his way and he can, like, you know, maneuver with ease and recruit people through Rich Paul, who obviously has a lot of high-profile players under his belt.
Yeah.
Basically, this is what you're going to get. This is basically what would happen. If there was freedom, you would basically see everyone that shows up for LeBron's Taco Tuesday on the exact same team. Friends. Literally. You would see CP3. You'd possibly see who does it like he hangs out and talks with a lot of like all stars.
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony. He basically would create the most super team that contending is impossible.
No, but
literally
see,
impossible.
See, you can't really do that because that's why we have a salary cap. You know what I'm saying? So like that.
True. But here's what I'll say to that. Yeah, for those players who are desperate and age-wise need to get a ring, they would most likely move to LeBron's team and willingly take a little bit of a cut.
Yeah.
Exactly. To get that ring desperately, because LeBron probably has 2 more years under his belt before he leaves the league. So everybody who's, thinking about retirement or coming close to old, being too old to be as effective would rush to get that ring. And LeBron just like, hey, come play for me. It doesn't matter if you're on the bench or reserve. You can just stay for 1 year. We win the championship. You get your ring. And since the players have the power, you can move wherever you want, or you can all gather together and decide what other team you want to create. Basically, you're going to have teams being created every year. Same name, but the structure will be changing.
Okay,
and then you have teams like Washington Wizards, completely irrelevant.
Okay, see, I agree, but I don't agree. So my thing is like, okay, at the end of the day, though, like the NBA over the past like 30 years, it's like it's been run by owners. Like owners decide when, like if a player's not playing well, if a player's club, later the next day, this player will get traded. So like we're at a stage where our players they get more power. You know what I'm saying? The argument over the past maybe 3-4 seasons, like players they can decide exactly what they want to go, what team they want to play for. So I personally don't think there's anything wrong with that. Obviously, like what you're saying is like maybe the league's a bit skewed, like maybe top teams in LA or to New York. Obviously, those are the big cities. Players want to go there, but at the end of the day,
actually, let's clarify one thing first. There's one thing we need to clarify.
Sure.
The current imbalance in player power is with the All-Stars. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, the only ones that have the power to actually just stand up. Just the All-Stars. That leaves still a lot of players under basically complete control on the GMs. So yeah, only your All-Stars can actually like rebel right now.
While I do want to add anything to what Tony just said, do you believe players should be give more power, or do you think like power should be taken away from the players?
I was going for striking the balance, by the way, a balance between both. But go ahead, Wale.
Are we talking strictly like recruiting or just like in general?
Yeah, just like in general, because obviously with this James Harden situation, like he's kind of demanding a trade from Houston. So would you, as a GM, though, would you actually trade him to where he wants to go to, or would you be like, nah, this isn't?
Nah, like I've never been for that. Like I hate, like that was my whole issue with Golden State when they were so dominant. Like I hate teams just being so dominant, and like with players being able to dictate where they want to go to, it's just gonna be more of that rubbish. That's never appealed to me. Like that's the old reason why it's not like football where you can just decide where you want to go and go.
If you don't get to play the contract out, then don't sign it, basically.
Okay, so like my thing with that is that like it's a case where teams can actually just trade you whenever they want. Like if you're not performing, they can just get rid of you. Like is actually they can just trade you like the next day. So do you think like in terms of that, like do you think players should actually be given some power to actually decide exactly like we can't leave this off the team all the time, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said though, if you're not playing your contract, they can just trade you the next day. So there has to be kind of a balance with that as well, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like I think there's a middle ground, right? So like say James Harden, right? If he turns up to practice and says he has a stomachache, then they can't find him because you can't prove it's wrong. You can't prove you don't have a stomachache. But at the same time, should you be in a nightclub when your team is training when there's COVID going on?
Right.
So maybe it's a case of like you put what they can do in the contract.
Yeah.
So, and Anthony Brown overstepped. Like he called the general manager a cracker in Oakland. He did whatever he wanted. So and that's how they could get rid of him without having to pay him. So even though they trade you, they still have to pay you what they promised you, right?
He called him a what?
He called him a cracker, like,
Like, did you not see that
whole of the team?
He completely took the piss.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like he got fined for that, right?
He got released.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, much better. Like, what the hell? I don't. Okay.
And then he was, what was it again? He was due a payout, but because of the amount of time he was in the Raiders, he couldn't get his money or something like that. Anyways, but yeah, he was just crazy.
Yeah.
Steven.
But I think it's interesting
the
difference between NFL and NBA though. Like NFL kind of the team has too much power, while NBA have too much power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really too much power though? I mean, in comparison to, let's say, the football Premier League, like I'm trying to understand how you're defining too much power in this case. Like, do basketball players have more power than let's say a Mesut Ozil, for example?
As long as you're an all-star player, you have power. The team is built around you. So when something happens to you, either injury or you refuse to play, it affects every single person. Now, you're not going to expect some like in football, for instance, some center mid who is not relevant, some guy that comes off the bench isn't playing so well, you're going to bench his ass or put him on the reserves. You can't really do that to James Harden. They try to do that with Kawhi Leonard.
If you look at Gareth Bale in Real Madrid, like that's basically what happened to him. Like.
Yeah, but like my point is this: like you've invested so much money in this person. Say, okay, James Harden is misbehaving now. If you bench him, good luck handling the fans. They're gonna be like, "Are you mad?" Even though he's going to strip clubs and stuff. As long as he's fit to play him. We still need to aim for a championship or at least the playoffs or something. You can't discipline him by making us start losing games. You know,
I feel like
he still has the power.
Yeah, I feel like like fans would actually understand though. Like if you're saying we actually find this guy for he's actually breaking team protocol. I feel like a lot of fans would actually I mean, like I personally believe like he should be actually fined like as much as possible. Like maybe like 500.
Adam Silver didn't fine him because that when he had gone to the strip club at that time, the rule was not in effect yet. It came into effect after that. So he released a press. He was there with the press explaining why he didn't fine James Harden. But that was for the first one. I don't know about the second one that just happened now.
Okay.
I think he might be getting fined for the second one. I don't know. I haven't checked up on that. But the first one was in effect.
So only the first one, fine. Adam Silver couldn't find him because the COVID rule was in effect.
Yeah.
But the team can find him because the team had a practice that he missed.
Yeah, and then remember what he said. I was there. I was in Las Vegas doing personal training. I mean, can you prove he wasn't? Sure, he was. That night he had photos, but he could be like, I trained in the morning and afternoon.
Well, you can't just personally train if your team is training somewhere else. You can't do that as a team player. You're not allowed to come up and say you're training at home.
How many days of training? He missed a couple because of the whole COVID concerns as well. Yeah, okay, the team can find him. Sure, yeah, the team can find him. I mean, look, you want to find James Harden, some guy who makes millions, fine, go ahead, slap him down with like 50,000 euro, like dollars, like he keeps the shit. You know, you just show face.
I think that's the problem though, because that's why they have too much power. Because if they find him, then he's just gonna be more pissed off, and he's not gonna play for them.
Here's what they can do, right? They can put in the contract. If you 3 strikes and, well, I won't say you're out, but 3 strikes and the team, and then you get banned for a certain amount of games. In every player's contract, misconduct and misbehavior to a certain degree, 3 strikes and you're banned Forget
So,
fines.
like,
You get fined on top of that. You get fined on top of that, and then you also get banned by the NBA to play games for like. See, think of it as a red card.
Yeah,
so
but that's the thing you were saying as well, Anthony. Like, if you're gonna do that, like, you have to like think about how much they've invested in him as well. Like, you're not gonna want to put like that kind of player on your bench. Like, although that's exactly what should happen, but like they're not one. They're gonna want. What they're gonna want to do is get rid of him, and then by that he's just getting what he wants, anyways.
I know, but at least if this is in the contract, your fans, no one is going to complain because this is the rules set by the NBA. If you want to complain to anybody, you go complain to Adam Silver. Because if you bench Harden now, and let's say they play a top team and they get destroyed, while Harden's sitting on the bench like Ozil was sitting on the bench laughing, everyone's gonna be like, oh, okay, you knew we were losing second quarter. You knew if you put James Harden on, he would drop 60 points and possibly make us win. But you just, they'll be like, come on, put your ego aside. We need to win. After a while, you're going to need to win. Without James Harden, you're not winning games. Fact.
Yeah, but if James Harden doesn't want to be there, then you have to get rid of him. Like, and that's what I'm saying. So if the team breaks and like either plays him or says, okay, now we're going to get rid of you, then he's just getting what he wants. Anyway, he's going to go to a team he wants. The team is going to get the cash for him. Like, and then in a way, everybody's happy, but that's just what we're talking about. Like, that's just the players forcing whatever they want just by being dickheads, like by throwing tantrums.
Rockets won't be happy. Rockets won't be happy because if they're forced to kick him out, that means they're going into negotiation as a desperate side, meaning they're going to have to drop the value of what they expect to get for him to get him out. Other teams are going to be like, well, you need to get him out now. We know that, so we're giving you less than what you should actually get for him.
But isn't his value already dropping because not many teams are actually chasing him?
I mean,
like it's a supply demand situation, isn't it?
Technically, his value should have dropped, but like what's going on right now is James are all asking the same question: is this how he's going to start acting from now on? I mean, they're still interested in him, but it's kind of like it's more of an his attitude. They're just trying to gauge his attitude. Is this something that's going to continue, or is just his like
is that really a talking point? Because if this is his first time acting like this, I don't really see how you're taking it as this is how he's always been.
It's a talking point because everyone feels he has a preferred destination that he wants to play.
Yeah.
So even if you had the team to trade for him, and he turns up outside your door and he's like, "No, this is not where I want to play," it's just gonna keep going the same way it's going. So, and then you've spent all this money on this guy that's
not even the major thing. Actually, the major point I think the major thing that teams are scared of is he going to like obviously skip training, go to the strip clubs, and potentially now affect the rest of our players? Look what happened with the Rockets game; it got postponed.
Yeah, but that wasn't
one individual obviously messing around.
That wasn't on him at all.
I know, but I'm just saying like that's also a scare. Like, okay, he's gonna go do his own shit. If he doesn't put it on Instagram, we're not gonna know where he is, and he shows up for training.
Hold on, real quick, Steven, what's your thoughts on all that?
Well, the rookie was the one who basically cancelled the game because four of them had to quarantine because they were all getting a haircut in the same hotel. And then James Harden was just ineligible to play anyway. He dropped 44 points last night, so it's not like his mind's not on the game. He just doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah.
The team's not a winning team anymore.
Maybe it would have been 60 points if he was actually very happy, but hey.
Yeah, but look at the pieces around him.
44 points is, I mean, that's the 44 points and 17 assists. That's the first time that's ever been done to start a season. So I don't know. Like he's gonna ball out. Like he's James Harden. That's why he has all this power, because you know what you're getting. Like
I don't think it's sustainable. He's doing this right now as he's unhappy, but after a while, unhappy is gonna turn into frustration, and then the stats might start being affected.
Yeah, but it seems like they're gonna trade him before my guess is in the next 1 or 2. So like my question to you guys, like what team would they trade him to? Because obviously like he's giving us a few teams he wants to go to. So like
the question is what team is willing to do a reorganization at this point?
Wait, guys, before you go over that, can I chime in for a second? If he's dropping 44 points, because my thinking is this year, if a player's unhappy, it bleeds onto the court. So he's not going to be dropping these kind of points. if he's gonna be dropping these points and he's gonna be winning you games, how does his value drop then?
Yeah, but that's what they're saying though. It's if he's only doing that to prove a point. Like, is he gonna keep playing this hard for a team he doesn't want to be at like for the whole season? Like, that's not gonna happen.
Like he dropped that and they lost last night. I think it's more the point that who is he playing with? Who's going to help him win? Like Russell Westbrook's gone. They got John Wall, who hasn't played in 2 years, and Boogie Cousin, who has barely played in 2 years.
He's about to get injured probably again.
Yeah, like the two of them probably won't last the whole year.
Yeah.
But let me ask you guys this actually, since you're all football guys. I just want to make a reference. When Suarez was freaking biting everyone around the place, did his value go down?
Biting everyone around the place.
Liverpool were, I think, freaking rodents.
Yeah, but it's not the same. They just have to pay his contract because wherever he goes, you have to like match assets. So like teams can either give up big assets or they can trade away their futures, so they can give future draft picks for him. It's what.
But do you trade away your Actually, they did it for LeBron, who's already turning 36 or already is 36. James Harden is 32, still dropping massive points. So technically, if you want the ring, sacrifice for the next 2 to 3 years and have him on your team.
Yeah, and this was actually a point I was talking with Tony about a while ago when I was saying that, there comes a time when you need to just kind of go all in, because there's no point, having a player like James Harden and just coming third, fourth, fifth, or third again. Like that does nothing for you. There comes a time where you need to like go to the stadium and say, we got this ring in this year and that year. So at that point, I was telling Tony, like, it gets to the point where you might say, oh, we're trading away our futures. But I mean, what's the point if you don't have a ring? Correct?
That's the thing. So like LeBron James on his own is not good enough to win a ring.
No.
Kevin Durant on his own is not good enough to win a ring. LeBron needed Anthony Davis. KD and Steph teamed up. I mean, Kawhi is the only guy that actually got it done on his own.
Hey! Golden State did it without KD before. I'm just saying.
Steph Curry, Klay Thompson,
Draymond.
So the point is, if you have just James Harden, and you think that's good enough, then the Rockets should have won it. In the last 3-4 years, they haven't won it.
That's never been good.
Someone else on James level,
But do you think it was the strategy that they went with that absolutely just failed? The whole no big man ball, fast
Mike and Tony, no defense. Really
hurt them. That was when they traded Clint Capella. I was like, okay, where's his replacement? Where's the big? Like, what's going on here? And I was just kind of like, okay, this is not. And then Russell Westbrook and James Harden both sacrificing ball time. I was like, okay, maybe
and Chris Paul as well.
Huh? Yeah.
Chris Paul as well. He got injured at the end, but he never did anything to kind of make that trade valid. Like they should have kept him for another year.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Well with them.
I think they tried the kind of conventional big man initially. That didn't work. They came close a couple of times. Then they went outside the box, and that also failed. So now it's like they're not. To be fair, the team they have now is not going to win it either. So I don't know. I think they're.
So would you say, Ola, that Ty's points, that was their season of going all in, basically, where it's like, but they had 2 All-Stars, by the way. Yeah. They had 2 All-Stars.
Last year was a terrible experiment, is what I think.
Yeah, exactly. So they had 2 All-Stars, which is the formula to winning a championship. We all know that. And, well, changing that kind of... I don't think has any team ever done that in the history of NBA and actually won, played that no big man strategy.
That's a good question, actually. I don't think so, because like if you look at the teams that won in the past, like they've always like a focal point as a big man. You look through the 70s and 80s. Obviously, you had like Kareem in the 70s, 80s. With the Lakers. So we've always seen like a big man actually, on the line. So I don't think like a small ball lineup can actually work like that.
Unless you're shooting threes like crazy and accurately.
The closest was Golden State in their
State,
first kind of championship because they played
Draymond Green.
shooting the tree. Well,
we had
even then they had the defense of Iguodala and Draymond, like what they lacked.
I mean, when
wasn't West was with us as well. West was with us at that stage. He's not
true as well.
Still strong enough as a center.
I mean, when
closest.
Miami was winning championships, like, did they have a big man?
They had
Obviously, they had LeBron, but like
they had Shaq back in the day as well.
They had.
Oh yeah, they did have.
Did you say Miami?
Yeah.
Did you say Miami?
Yeah,
Bosh,
Bosh.
Bosh
Bosh,
was like pretty much like a stretch big.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys
never
on.
Been done there.
Sorry, I got a question for you guys on Brooklyn Nets. What's your expectation from them this season?
Fuck me, but they're doing very well, man. We all have to give them respect for that straight away. Doing so bloody damn well.
I mean, obviously, KD's a beast, like, so that's no, like, there's no. My team's always Kyrie's just going to find a way to mess up. I don't trust him personally.
Victor, man,
I don't trust him.
I'm telling you, he's. I think they might win. That fucking burning of the sage, that's some juju shit that guy is going on, man.
Yeah, the guy is just toxic altogether.
Like, he's just toxic. It's just like, like he's a great player, obviously, but it's just like he's always gonna find. Like, when Steve Nash came in, guy was talking about we don't need a coach. Like, who actually says that? Like, dude, come on. Like, so, like, to me, I don't really trust him. So I feel like KD, obviously, like I said, KK's a beast, but Kyrie, would I trust Kyrie? Probably not. No.
Well, I think I asked for a prediction, right, or expectation. So
yeah, like how do you think basically how do you think they're gonna perform this season?
So like playoffs, Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, Championship, no playoffs.
I'll probably say like
Conference
Finals.
Yeah, I'm going for that as well. Yeah. But like, I don't like to say this now because they've only played 3 games. Is it 2, 3?
2 games.
2. So it's so early. Like, teams are gonna adjust. But what I like so far is the chemistry I'm seeing between KD and Kyrie. They're playing so smooth.
Tony, that's though. KD would fit with any player. Like, it's just that good.
Yeah, but you see, like, it's just the reason he was failing before, in my opinion, is because he was forcing himself to be this leader role. And now that he has somebody who's better than him,
what?
Kind of like,
wait.
Huh?
What are you talking about?
Don't do that,
Stevie, where's your heart as well?
Well, I want to let whoever's talking finish that statement of who is better than who there.
That nonsense, right?
No, KD is better than Kyrie.
Okay.
What did you think I said?
Okay.
What did you think I said?
I thought you were talking about
Kyrie better.
Kyrie better.
Come on.
Get out of the fucking show, man.
Like, did I miss something on the chat or something?
Oh, hang on. I think did you say KD was failing before?
No, I said Kyrie. Kyrie was failing before because he was forcing himself into this like leader role where he wasn't qualified for it, But now that he has a player who's better than him but understands him, KD can probably keep Kyrie in check, just about in check.
Isn't that why Kyrie left Cleveland anyways? He said he didn't want to be in LeBron's shadows. Like,
yeah, but he's not going to be in KD's shadow right now. They're going to both be sharing that spotlight. I think probably not equally. KD used to be on top, but close enough. When he was in the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron, it was a big difference. It was LeBron's team, and then Kyrie was just his number 2. That was clear cut. Here, it's kind of like, they're both kind of new to the team-ish, and, they're playing quite equally at the moment. Now, if KD just shoots up out of nowhere and starts dominating, then Kyrie might get jealous and do his old debacle again. But for the moment, I think if this continues like this, they'll be fine.
I just think Kyrie reminds me of that kid at home that knows he needs to clean his room and is about to start cleaning his room. But once someone says, "Oh, you need to clean your room," he's like,
what an analogy.
All right. I got a question on Westbrook.
Yeah.
Is he gonna win a ring anytime soon?
No.
No.
He's gonna be one of those guys.
Next question. Next question.
No, but I mean, okay, but here's the thing, yeah. So when KD left, yeah, and he got a lot of flack, and you know Westbrook was seen as like, you know, okay, this is the one guy team kind of person. At that point, you know, I understood why KD did it, you know, and he got flack for that. And my response is basically, if the goal is to have a ring at that point, and I'm looking at Westbrook here, and he, you know, he stayed, but then eventually he joins Houston Rockets, correct? So yeah. I'm thinking to myself, isn't he getting the same type of flag? Now I understand obviously KD joined, you know, a super team, but what happened to that idea of like, because basically Westbrook joined James Harden, which is a super player, correct? So yeah, does he get any flag?
It wasn't a super team. No. If he joined, it's different because KD is kind of like the person who beat you, you went to go join them.
Yeah.
That's like,
and plus they were working on something in at the Thunder, like they were actually building up to something, and he left right at when it was trying to get somewhere. Like, so that's why KD never really got respect for making that move. But like, Westbrook was never going to be able to do it by himself there. Like,
so basically, as a player now, basically just say Westbrook isn't going to win any ring. Like he's at that age. He's at that age where like he needs to do it now, and was his best chance to do it with Houston Rockets.
Not even the age, like it's just the way he plays as well. Like it's just the way he plays.
Slowed down with age. He relies
on. Question for you guys: what team do you think he would actually fit in and make them contenders? Westbrook.
That's actually a good question.
Because I can't think of one actually right now.
Nobody right now because he's shooting like 30% or something for the first two games.
He needs to stop shooting trees as well. Like he actually needs to stop shooting trees. Like we've known like over the past like maybe 10 years, he can't shoot trees, but he just doesn't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Just doesn't doing it.
And speaking of shooting, then is this all?
Maybe the Celtics.
Sorry, go on.
Maybe if you join the Celtics, because I'm thinking Celtics have those shooters there.
Yeah, but like, what are you gonna do now? Who's gonna be the point guard? Are you gonna take the ball out of Kemba's hands?
Obviously, if you bring Westbrook in, you have to lose Kemba. Kemba isn't playing well anyway.
But like, would like Westbrook and Tatum fit the same team though? Because
that's not enough. That's not enough.
Yeah, you don't really want to stunt his growth like Tatum's growth and Brown's growth. So I feel like Westbrook would just come in. He would want to take over, and we might have the same situation as we have with Kyrie. Remember when he was with the Celtics, he just kind of messed everything up.
But you know what? If Westbrook doesn't win a ring, right? He might be the first player that will still be in conversation for like a lot of accolades. The whole triple-double and everything. He set records that probably won't be broken for a long time. Now I know if you don't have a ring, you're not really relevant in the
my question is, do you guys care about that? Like, do you actually care about, okay, well, he did this, he did that? Like, if you don't have a ring, my understanding is in basketball, if you don't have a ring, then no one really gives a shit.
No, basketball. Like, before, players were judged on like winning rings all the time. Some of the legends went down for being great, for just being great ballers, like full stop. So I think once he's retired and we're kind of out of the game, like out of him currently playing, I think it'll be easier to judge and like people will respect what he did, especially in the triple-double season. Like,
but Clay, when you think about all those people who didn't win a ring, that their names are still relevant, they in some aspect dominated in one or two categories. Like if you think about Charles Barkley, for instance, right? He couldn't really be stopped per se. So he had that. While Russell Westbrook is just numbers. He just has the numbers on his side. Like, okay, triple doubles, assists, and stuff like that. You don't think of him like you would think of like, I don't know, some unstoppable kind of like center or unstoppable point guard. He can be stopped.
Is also
like his drives. He's just a very good entertainer.
Yeah, that could be his thing. Like that's why people like. That's why I like Westbrook, anyways, because of how explosive he was and is. Like,
yeah, and he's actually he's actually my favorite player. Even though I'd never spoil his team, Just
Did,
watch
did you?
the way it goes
I
about.
don't know if I'm the only one that noticed this as well, but did you notice when he finally had his son, all those explosive dunks, he reduced them?
Oh,
We
really?
had a son.
Since, yeah,
Crazy.
Anthony stays up to date with the gossip, man.
What does have to do with dunks? What is kid?
I just noticed that like as soon as his child was born,
This guy analyzing everything, man.
Calm down. Maybe you're right. I don't know.
Just saying.
Okay, so boys, like, so new season, to me, top 5 players, me, LeBron James is still one, obviously. LeBron, KD, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, James Harden. Do we agree with that?
You didn't put Anthony Davis, no?
Nah, man, top 5, man, nah.
You're putting KD, who's coming back from an injury and you only played 2 games?
Anthony,
Yeah, well,
KD's a
100%
Absolutely.
KD.
Yes.
KD's a beast.
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
KD's
I
just too good,
mean,
man.
his past speaks for himself. Definitely,
so-
can't dispute that.
What's yours then? Going to this season.
Obviously, everyone's gonna agree. LeBron #1, so it's basically top 4. I mean, next 4. I mean, I guess I have to put KD because I haven't seen anything bad happen so far. He looks exactly like himself. The more he plays, KD. I'm gonna put AD as well.
Okay.
The last 2 now. Oh, that's very tough. I'll get back to you on that. Next person, I'll get back to you on the last 2.
Why did you want to go?
Yeah, obviously LeBron. I'd go KD. I'd go Giannis.
Yeah, this year. Okay.
Yeah.
2 more.
I hate to put his name in there, but I'd go. What's his name again?
Kawhi Leonard.
No.
James Harden.
Yeah. Kawhi will be there, but I'll put Golden State. What's his name again?
Steph Curry.
Yeah. I'd put Steph in there. As much as I hate to, I'd put Steph in there. Yeah.
What about you, Ola?
I mean, look, I can't really disagree. The only name I've heard that I can disagree with is
AD.
Curry.
Is who?
Okay.
Steph.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the only reason for that is every other name you've mentioned, they've played, like even Anthony Davis has played on a team where he was the only star there.
Yeah.
And he balled out. Steph, I just haven't seen that from Steph.
Are we counting Clay as a star? And
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Clay goes down, Draymond goes down. I mean, they get blown out 2 games. Now, if Draymond comes back and Steph balls, I'll put him right back in there. But I just haven't seen, he's a liability defensively. Agreed. And on the offensive side, it seems like he can't be the focal point. So as much as I love Steph, I just can't have him there and he's obviously limited by his size as well, so it's not really his fault. But like put LeBron on any team, they'll ball out. Put AD on any team, they ball out. KD on any team. Put Kawhi. I mean, Kawhi won a chip on his own.
Giannis.
I can't put Steph there. I'm sorry.
So as a Warriors supporter, I was definitely not even going to put Steph Curry in the top 5 for this season. It's clear. I mean, it's all. I made very good points. It's clear he can't bring up the team on his own. Unfortunately, we're not going to make. We're most likely not even going to make conference finals. Yeah, it's not our season. That whole Klay Thompson injury, man. If he wasn't injured, we would be relevant again. But
what about you, Steven? Top 5.
Top 5, I'm going to go with LeBron, Giannis. I'm going to put in Luka.
Oh, okay.
Because from what we've seen of him and what we've seen of him in Madrid, like he's quality. Like even the players around him, he doesn't have the greatest team around him, but he will carry them to the playoffs. And if Porzingis is back, they can make a playoff run like they attempted at the end of last season.
I agree. If we have a healthy unicorn, then yeah,
they're dangerous.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. But
and then
when is he due to come back?
Oh, I don't know it, but his injury return date always moves because anytime they get an update, it's like, oh, it's going to be moved forward. actually we're moving it back a month. Like, so I never pay attention to it until he's actually on the court.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him on the bench in his uniform before, and him never come on, and then been told he's still injured for another month. So it's kind of pointless until he's suited up and on the court.
Yeah,
to make an assumption of his return. And you've got to go with KD, 100%. And I think AD is going to push for a shout as well this year. I really think he's going to try carry the team more. We might see LeBron rest a lot more, mainly because the pieces around the Lakers have gotten so much better that Anthony Davis can shine and LeBron can sit on the bench and rest more.
Yeah, he's their main center. There's no taking him off for anybody else, really. Well,
Yeah, like, there's
obviously
no
going to let him rest, but there's no one else that can overshadow him.
Yeah.
So you guys,
my 5 then is LeBron, AD, Giannis, KD. Got to give him respect, and the last one is very tough, man. That Luka really makes a good point. I think I'm gonna agree with Clay on this one and put Luka. That's fine.
So like to you guys, so do we all agree that LA Lakers are still the favorite for this season?
My favorites, will be KD, LeBron, AD, Luka, and Giannis. Yeah, Vicky can continue now.
You left someone out.
When did one that said teams need to sacrifice their future?
Shut your mouth. Shoot your mouth.
Wait, boys, are we saying Luka is better than Kawhi though? Because I'm hearing Luka in a lot of like top 5s, and I'm not hearing Kawhi.
No.
Okay.
He's not.
Kawhi choked.
I don't think so.
In the playoffs.
No, he's not.
We all know the game. Luka was consistent all through. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. So
yeah, but like KD
Kawhi
had fucking
man.
Paul George next to him doing rubbish the whole fucking playoffs. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't want to hear consistent during the season. Like, I mean, a man has 2 rings, 2 Finals MVPs.
Yeah,
put some respect on his name, like.
Oh yeah, of course, put respect there. Plus the load management, Yeah, put respect.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the regular season. I mean, he's done it when he matters the most. Until look at those that I can't have in my head of.
You can't put him in.
So he should do his load management and let Paul George do the regular season, yeah?
Pandemic team, man.
I don't.
Come on.
He's played for he's played for like the strictest coach in the league. He's in the stripes. Man, Kawhi deserves where he deserves top 5 at least.
Yeah, you can't leave him out because look at them earlier on today. He missed that one game and they set a record by being down by 50 points at the half with Paul George. And that was against the Mavericks. Like, that's poor. Like, it shows how much they are going to rely on him this season. And they are going to have to load manage. I don't think they're going to be like, they'll probably be aiming for like 5 to 8 in the playoff in the West. Because they don't want to win every game in the West because they need to rest him. He needs to be fit for the playoffs.
There's one kid I actually wanted to put in my top 5, but I was like, he's still a kid, so I can't. And that was John Morant, but he hasn't earned it yet.
Sorry, no, he's not even top 20.
He's working towards it, but he's not there yet. He's not there yet, but he's doing well, though. Keep your eyes open for that kid. He's doing well.
Okay, guys, so like LaMelo Ball, first game.
Those passes are sick.
First game, the guy didn't really do much. So, like it played okay last night. So, what do you guys think of his first 2 games so far? Have you guys watched him a lot?
I did, and I'm still happy with the way he's playing. But look, it's his first 2 games, man. First year in the league. I mean, let's not jump on his ass already. Like, give him some time, chemistry and all that kind of shit to build up. Just give it some time.
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of him at all, to be honest.
Enough.
But he does have some sick ass highlights though. Like his passing is good. Everyone has agreed. Like his passing is actually really, really good.
Yeah, but it was the exact same with Lonzo when Lonzo started. Flashy passes, and then he kind of lost himself at the start of the season, and picked up
Are you
injuries.
saying it's a ball family curse?
No, it's not a curse. Like, I still rate Lonzo. He's a good passer. I think he just needs somebody to like put his arm around him and kind of baby him and big him up all the time. Like, he needs a coach that's going to be like, "Oh no, you can do this. I believe in you," the whole time, to get confidence.
Clay, I'm going to ask you a question here. Without Zion, is Lonzo relevant?
Yes.
Yeah, because Zion hasn't even played much. That team's quite good without Zion.
Vale, Buruku.